Right, I'm going to cinema. The first time I'm going to go to the cinema for a good few years to watch the new Star Wars movie. Normally I wait until it comes out on DVD, Netflix, whatever. But I just thought I'll give it a shot because it's going to be the first ever captioned movie that I'm ever going to see. And I thought I'm going to go and watch the new Star Wars movie, give it a shot and see how it goes. Now obviously I can't take the camera with me and film everything, it looks suspicious, you're not allowed to, they have issues about copyright, you can't, record the film itself. So I thought I'll just leave the camera and go with this instead to see how it goes. And I'm gonna just go on a journey, see how it goes, go through this process, watch the film, come back, and then I'm gonna go and report back on the camera. So, let's do it. Claire, you ready to go?
I am.
She's ready. Let's do this. Ready? Well, that was an experience. The first time in 2 years I went back to the cinema to watch the new Star Wars movie, Rise of the Skywalker. And it's the first time in 2 years because I had just been fed up of the cinemas. A couple of years ago I went to watch the Avengers Infinity Wars and I had a terrible time. I was just distraught, emotional, exhausted, and I just had enough of it. I just thought, you know what? If they don't care enough to provide the experience that I want, why should I bother? And I got frustrated, ended it, and I didn't go for 2 years until yesterday at the time of recording, I went to see the new Star Wars movie. It's not just the first time I went back to the cinema, but it's also the first time ever I went to watch a movie with subtitles, with captions. I thought I would give it a shot, and it's a good time for me because it's during the holidays right now, so there are more flexibility in time in terms of not worrying about coming home late with my wife, who is also off during the holiday from the next day, which is today, and it just made it easier. So we thought, let's just go watch the new Star Wars movie and give it a shot as well. I just want to be very clear though that I'm not going to be doing a review of the film itself. I'm not going to be talking about whether it's good or bad, the new Star Wars movie. It's not what it's about, it's spoiler free, and I don't want to focus on that. It's just about my own captioned cinema experience, and I want to share my own thoughts about it and also what could be done to be better, because it's not perfect, but there are things that could be tweaked upon. So just focus on that, not about the Star Wars movie. I enjoyed it, I really enjoyed it, but let's just focus on the whole experience itself. On this occasion, I went to one of the bigger cinema chains in the UK. It's called Odeon, and it's in particularly called the Odeon Lux. I think Lux is like the luxury experience. You got a recliner and all these things. So I went to that one just because of the timing. It suited me at that time. It's not because I prefer that one over the other. So it's just a general experience of that. And I have a feeling that even though I'm going to be talking about Odeon, I'm sure, very sure, that it will apply to other cinema chains as well. So it's going to be relevant across board. So let's talk about the actual film itself and the caption of it. And yes, it was fully captioned. And I think it's great that I went to see the very first captioned movie ever is Star Wars, because there will be certain things that's hard to hear. Like all the sound effects and the noises and the alien languages that were actually being said out loud. And it's very hard to hear them, hard to work out whether are they speaking alien languages or not. But they captioned everything, and when I say caption, not subtitles, because there are differences, even though in the UK they call it subtitles, but there are differences between captions and subtitles. You can check it out in the description and you'll learn more about that. But it's captioned, which means that all the sound effects, all the background noise, everything around that person speaking was just really clearly laid out. When someone is speaking in some kind of alien languages, it says at the bottom, speaking in alien languages, so you don't need to worry about hearing that. There were times where in an alien accent, but they were speaking in English, which means that I needed to hear that, but I couldn't. So the caption itself was very, very useful. So the fact that it was fully done like that was brilliant. It actually was, it was brilliant, because obviously there will be certain words that I will not get. It's not an everyday word. There will be certain things in there that I just don't know what they're saying. So they've captioned it up to the max in my opinion. And without revealing a spoiler, there was one particular scene where I was actually very impressed. It was a scene where there were a lot of people talking in the background, as if it's like a dream. You can hear voices in your dream, and there are multiple different people speaking. In the caption itself, it says the name of a person, and then the double colon, and what that person is saying. And it kept changing to a different person, and a different person. That was brilliant. And I have to give credit where credit is due, because that was very, very important. I would not have been able to realize that there were different people speaking, and also I would not have been able to realize that those people were speaking. They were actually very, very important to know that it was those particular people who were saying those phrases in that dream voices in your head kind of thing. If you ever watch it, you'll get it. It's near the end, you'll understand what I mean. But that was so important. But of course, there were a few things that I have to mention, and there were issues that I just don't understand why that exists. If you're going to say that this experience is going to be subtitles, it's going to be captioned, then you want to do that. So it was a big surprise for me when I was there, the adverts started and they were not captioned. Now, okay, maybe it's not a big deal. Nobody likes adverts showing their faces, but part of the experience, you just want to just watch and get involved. So the adverts were not captioned. I found that very, very surprising. And then on top of that, forget the advert, let's move on to the trailers. Guess what? The trailers were not captioned. And I was really confused. I was like, why not? It just didn't make sense to me that they didn't caption the trailers. I was not able to even get the concept of what the upcoming movie is about, which defeats the purpose, because you want those same people to come back and watch the movies, wouldn't you? One of my biggest issue about the cinema experience on this particular occasion, but it also applies to all the cinema chains, is that you're not able to experience the full cinema experience in terms of the bigger screen, the bigger sound effect, and all these things that you pay money for, a lot of money for, when you go to the cinema. Because I've noticed when I checked for the caption screening for Star Wars and even others in the past, they always place that movie in the smaller screen, the smaller room with less seat, which means that we'll never ever be able to experience that big ultimate experience. And on a lot of occasions, you can't even watch it in 3D as well. You can't even get that amazing sound effect, that surround sound, all these things, even though it was good. But there are other versions that it's supposed to be even better, and that's not available. And I just don't understand why that is not available. Is it because of a money thing, or nobody will go? Is it because nobody wants it? I disagree. I think people do want that. It's not just about not being able to hear that. We can hear that. A lot of can hear these things, and you want to experience that. And you want to have that bigger screen as well. You pay for that. But that option was not available. I've noticed when you see the multiple screening of the same movie, you have the, let's just say, the ultimate experience, but then you have the, call it, standard experience, and you pay for the same price of the two. So I don't think that's right. I don't think that's even fair. I mean, I wanted to watch it in a bigger screen. That's why I wanted to go to the cinema, and that's why I wanted to watch, in particular, Star Wars. I'm a fan, and I wanted to watch it in the amazing experience. But that option was not available, and I think that is a shame. Another thing that I am using my own experiences, not just on this occasion, but in the past, is that after a while, all cinemas, in Edinburgh anyway, I don't know about other places, they remove the captioned screening of those films. I remembered one time I wanted to watch Avengers Endgame, and I think I left it a few weeks after the release date or something like that, and I couldn't go for a while for other reasons, and because the timing was not great, so I'll talk about that in a minute. But the fact that after about a month or whatever, they actually then stopped showing the caption screening full stop. But they continued showing the screening of those movies anyway, but obviously they're not captioned at all. And that was frustrating. And I know that if I check for the same screening time, and even just in other cinemas, in a few weeks time, in a month's time, I'm very certain they will be removed, and the standard one without any caption, without any audio description and things like that, they will be removed. Again, maybe I don't know the full picture behind the scene, why they do it, but still, I would like to have the option, and you don't have that option, I'm afraid. So as soon as the movie is released, you actually have to go quickly. You are race against time. Not everyone wants to go on a day of release though. Not everyone can do that. And not everyone can or want to go within the first couple of weeks. Maybe they want to wait a bit longer. Maybe they were away. Maybe they have other plans. They will remove it if you don't go quickly, those caption screening. That's also a shame. And then still the biggest issue, the entire thing that people complain about is that it's still unsociable hours. So when I went to watch Star Wars, it was on a Sunday evening. Now Sunday evening is not bad. It was on at 7 p.m. and it meant that, we were home around 10. It's not bad, but it's still, for some people, they have work on Monday morning. If I was going to be going to a job on a Monday morning early, or if my wife had been working on Monday morning, whether we would go or not, I don't know. I don't know if we would go and stay out late and make an experience, all that kind of stuff. So the timing, again, it's the same old problem I've seen before. It's only unsociable hours, unsociable time during the day. There were options such as Monday evening and Tuesday afternoon. I've noticed that as well in Edinburgh. I don't know about other places. So again, it's not like we had a lot of choices anyway. It's bad enough that we have to watch it quickly because they're going to remove the caption screening, but even then, we have to go with the time that suits them, not suits us. So we will not be able to go on a Friday night or Saturday night kind of thing. And that's when sometimes I really want to go during that time. So the same problem exists. The unsociable hours are still there. I also want to point out a few things that I have noticed and I observed, which is that in this screening of that time, there were a few dozen people attending and I could not see anyone signing. So that gave me the impression that none of them are profoundly deaf. None of them are maybe speaking sign language as their first language. And a lot of them were whispering. So for me, I couldn't whisper or receive it because I would not be able to hear that. So just based on that alone, I'm going on the assumption that the majority of your audience were actually not deaf or hard of hearing. I have noticed one or two, they had hearing aids on, so that suited them fine. And then there were one or two others, they went alone and they wanted to watch it by themselves, and that's something that fine, but I don't know if they are deaf or hard of hearing, just don't know. But it just shows that you don't have to be deaf or hard of hearing to enjoy that film. It's not just for deaf people, it's not just for hard of hearing people. It's for more people than you think, and I've talked about that, about the benefits of subtitles and captions. I've talked about that. You can check it out in the description again, and it just shows this experience alone, and based on the article that I put together, that captions are not just for deaf people, hard of hearing people. So many other people can benefit from that, and I've witnessed that firsthand in a cinema, just based on a quick observation that people were whispering and nobody was signing. So it just shows that people do want it for other reasons as well. So that's kind of the roundup of the positive and the negative, and really right now it's about what can cinemas do to do it better. Maybe they will all come together and do something. Maybe one brand will stand out and be above the rest and just stand out from a crowd, and they will provide a proper full cinema experience. Because even though I came out feeling really happy that for the first time in my life I came out of a cinema understanding everything, understanding the story, the context, the whole lot, I actually did that. And yes, I should be grateful, and I am lucky enough in this country that I can do that. However, things can still be improved, and I think that applies to everything anyway. Things can always be improved. We can always improve something that we're working on, and the cinemas can do better. And I've provided a few suggestions, and there are things I'm sure going on in the background from other people who are trying to make it more accessible for not just for myself and deaf people, but for other people as well, because everyone deserves to have that experience in a cinema. And for the first time in my life, after a few decades of going to cinemas, this is the first time I came out feeling I was normal, if you like, feeling that I was part of the conversation, the group of people excited and happy and enjoyed it and all these things. I want more of that, but I also want to have the same experience as everyone else, and I'm sure other people would want that as well. Thankfully, there are campaigns going on in the background to improve cinema experiences for deaf and hard of hearing people. You can check that out in the description, and it's a petition going on to kind of encourage them to do that, because there are so many benefits of doing that. Hopefully it will get better, but for now I am grateful that I've had that experience. So overall, it was a great experience. Things could be better, but I enjoyed the movie. It was nice to kind of come out feeling like I enjoyed it, I understood it, and I was able to talk about it. That was mind blown. It sounds very trivial and a small thing, but it's mind blowing to me that I actually can do that. I've never done that before in my life. So hopefully that will give you some ideas of my own experience. I would love to know if you have your own experiences of going to caption screening, and if not, do you think I was right? Do you think I should maybe do something about it? Do you think we should all do something about it? Could things be better? Do you agree with me? Let me know what your thoughts about this in the comments, because I would love to open that debate, that discussion about it, because I'm sure that I'm not the only one who's feeling like that. But it'd be great to know from your own experiences what you think as well. Thanks very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you appreciate what I'm going through, and appreciate other people what they're going through when they go into the cinemas as well, especially those who are deaf and hard of hearing. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit the subscribe, and I would love to speak to you again in the future about all things related to deafness, and hopefully you will enjoy it in the future as well. In the meantime, I will speak to you again soon. Take care.